Go for it. Hi, Chuck McCown here, McCown Technology. Guess I should have put up my sign. I got a logo, it's like that or something. Anyhow, you guys have seen me before. Normally I'm talking about surge suppressors, things like that. Today we're a little bit outside my element, chemistry. It's my splicing trailer, fiber splicing trailer, and the aluminum skin is in good shape, but for whatever reason they use these screws, these Torx head screws that apparently they're obviously not stainless steel. They're probably not zinc coated. They're all rusty and they don't look very good. So what I want to do here is try to remove the rust and paint only the screw head. But now, which rust remover do I use? I spent the last couple days looking at YouTube videos with people trying different rust removers, and there's some answers to be found there, but all of those were a soak type situation. They had a little tray or trough, or cut a pop bottle in half and dropped in, or some lug nuts, or a railroad spike, and let it set for an hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, 12 hour, 24 hours. I've got a vertical surface here. That's number one, vertical surface. Number two, I don't want to damage this white, whatever it is. I think it may be a coating of vinyl, but that actually feels like that's a paint scuff to me. So whatever it is, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along the bottom here. Not going to go on this trim piece, but I'm going to go on the white because I've got more white to do here. And I'm going to put some rust remover on each one of these screw heads with a different product. And I'm going to put it on a cotton ball. I'm going to tape the cotton ball to the panel so it doesn't dry out, and we'll see how it goes. Let's talk about some of the different products here. Muriatic acid. This stuff's really strong. Okay, it will oxidize most metals. You know, oxidizing is what we're trying to cure here. You know, originally the word oxygen, two Greek words formed together to oxygen was like oxy was an acid creator, and gin was a creator, so you got an acid creator air. And so this has got a lot of extra electrons in it, and it'll just tear into metals. The problem with muriatic acid is not only, I mean, it will convert the iron oxide into ferric chloride, I think it is, but it'll also attack the steel again fresh. So you get it on there, it'll remove the rust, it'll start eating away the steel, you got to get it off. You know, some of the YouTube videos show amazing, astounding results using muriatic acid. So I've just been making the rounds, the auto parts stores and so forth, Home Depot. This is a Permatex rust treatment. It talks about, it's just like you spray it on and then it turns it into like a paintable surface. You don't even have to clean it up afterwards. Just a lot of different things. Loctite, extend rust, Permatex rust treatment. I don't know if that's any different than the other Permatex. What's this stuff? This is rust dissolver, Rust-Oleum. I think I got this one at Home Depot. This is the old CLR, which does excellent for just you know, lime, calcium and lime. This stuff was just an as run. It was on the shelf at one of the auto parts stores. I think I saw it on one of the YouTube videos. This stuff did pretty good at one of the YouTube videos, not as good as muriatic acid, but it was there, so I brought home a can. And then the old trusty standby Naval Jelly, which I've used this my whole life. The only thing I don't like about Naval Jelly is that it starts to rust immediately as soon as you wash it off. So you just got to get right to drying it off and cleaning it off. So without further ado, unless you really want to talk about Joseph Priestley and Antoine Lavoisier in France and the French Revolution and discovery of oxygen, which I'd love to talk about that, we're going to get busy here and taping some cotton balls onto this trailer. Alright, so it's about 4 hours later. I checked it a little bit earlier. The muriatic acid is not pretty. It actually got after the paint. Should have my gloves on here, did we? Yeah, anyhow, that's pretty dang ugly there. It did make the screw head nice and clean though. I mean, it just killed the paint. So I would not recommend muriatic acid if you're trying to save the paint, but it sure did a beautiful job on that screw head. What's this stuff? The Permatex rust treatment. I don't know. A little bit of a loose screw head there, but you know, it looks pretty clean. The paint had some kind of an interaction with the cotton ball, and the paint has been softened. So I would not recommend that for trying to keep the paint happy. Let's see what this little gem yields. Well, these cotton balls dried out. It's a hot summer day here in Utah. The wind's blowing. Yeah, there's rust there. It didn't help a lot. It took some of it off. This is the Loctite Extend Rust Neutralizer. The one right before that was the Permatex Rust Treatment. Both of them, there's a little bit of an effect to the paint. Okay, let's see what we got here. What's this one? This is the Permatex Rust Treatment, which we think might be the same stuff that's in that spray bottle. Again, paint's got a problem. It took most of the rust off though. Not too bad. I can always make a larger template, you know, like an old 45 RPM record. Oh, this one's bad. It's almost as bad as the muriatic acid as far as attacking the paint. I mean, the rust is gone. This is the Rust-Oleum rust dissolver gel formula. Apparently it's a little bit of a paint remover too. Good old CLR, perfect for your shower. There's a little bit of a rust spot there, but it's rusty. It just didn't do the job. Paint's not bad. And you know, I take that back. Some of the rust is gone, but only about half of it. It might be the go-to if we put it on a second time because it's a little bit easier on the paint. But I can still see an effect on the paint there. It's just less than all of the other ones. Okay, what's this stuff? Is this the, yeah, this is the Metal Rescue. Okay, there's no rust marks on the cotton ball. And the paint looks pretty good. And the rust is mostly gone. It did a much better job than CLR. It did not harm the paint. It's not all clean like some of the really nasty like muriatic acid ones are. But I think a second application might do the trick. Oh, this is that snot gob crap. Yikes. Scared to touch it almost. Let's see. It's some nasty, gooey, viscous gob of expectorant. But you know what? The paint doesn't look bad. This didn't attack the paint. The rust is mostly gone. So it looks like it's probably about as good as this Metal Rescue. These two seem to be comparable. Now here's my old friend, my old favorite here. Naval Jelly. When I was a little kid, I used to think, what, you rub this in your belly button or what? You know, I think the word naval and navy didn't have much meaning for me. My brother would use it on his rusty old car. Okay, it's not coming off very easy. Oh, it hurt the paint, so it's out of the running. It's also really stuck the old cotton ball on there. And I can see roughness, like there's still some rust there, but I can't really clearly evaluate it. I'd have to take something and just scrub the crap out of it to get the cotton ball off. Yeah, it did a pretty good job. It's clear down to bare metal there in some areas. But like I say, we're trying to preserve the paint, right? So if we're going to try to preserve the paint, I'm going to say the only ones that really did a fairly decent job with that are these two products right here. Okay, and I think I'll go with this one. That looks pretty darn good. If you can zoom in on that screw head, you can see if that was a black screw when they originally put it on here, you know, and the paint is just absolutely untouched. Absolutely untouched. Oh, the bottom, you say? Okay, let me walk that back. That ringing endorsement. I'll still endorse it. I don't see a bit of paint damage here whatsoever, and I don't really see much. Now let's find another one that's really good and nasty and rusty. Which one should I do? This one or this one? The top one. The bottom one's actually got more rust on the screw. The top one has more rust, like smoke and hole type rust. Okay, we'll give the top one a try here. It's like custard, and it's not only like custard, it's worse. It's just, you know, all the horrible things you could say about it. So we'll tape that down, come back tomorrow, and see how it did. But I think this was a very, I don't know if you say successful, valuable, yielded some really good results. At least now I'm pretty convinced that I can do my whole trailer here, undo all the screw heads, and I'm not going to incur any additional damage. Okay. Screw heads, but this one's a muriatic acid, and you see a significant amount of paint damage there. Sorry about shaky cam. This is the next one. Now you can see there's a bit of damage to the paint, which is the main thing I'm after here to remove. That's the Permatex rust treatment. There's also quite a bit of rust still left on that one. And again, I don't know how clear it is, but there's an effect on the paint. I wouldn't say damage. You can tell where the cotton ball was. It looks like the paint color has been changed a little bit. And that was the Loctite extended rust neutralizer. Okay, here we go. That one's got rust on it still, and it's got paint discoloration on it. So both bad. Doesn't the paint's kind of bad, but that was the Permatex rust treatment. Now this is an interesting one. It definitely attacked the paint. This one's second worst paint damage except for muriatic acid. This is the Rust-Oleum gel rust dissolver. But it also produced the cleanest screw head of all of them, really, of all of them. And that includes the muriatic acid. I would definitely go with this if you're not worrying about damaging your paint. That's a good product there. And this one, calcium, lime, and rust, didn't damage the paint, didn't take off much rust either. But you know, a second treatment, a few more hours, maybe it would have been okay. This is all a very abbreviated, 4-hour test yesterday. This is the, let's see, which one is this? This was the metal remover. The metal rescue rust remover bath. I'm not sure about what's on the paint. It's kind of just like an adhesive residue. It doesn't really look damaged. Some of the rust is gone. It would almost be usable. If I didn't have any of these other products, I would probably choose this if this was what I had. Okay, folks. I'm sure hoping that these things are in focus. I don't know why the camera's moving on me. Obviously don't have something locked down. This is the one that is the overall winner. This is the one that's almost completely free of rust, and I can see absolutely no effect to the paint. Here's good old Naval Jelly. It did remove some of the rust, a lot of the rust actually, but I don't know if you can see the damage to the paint there. It's made it like chalky and kind of pinkish, and you know, I don't know if that stuff will buff out or come off. It's actually softened the paint or something. You can see bare metal there. Okay, here's one that's been basking in the morning sunlight and all night long. I put my favorite one that's not gob stuff on a new screw last night, so it's been about 18 hours. It's time for the reveal. I'm using some glass cleaner today. I haven't figured out a good solvent or detergent or whatever to get rid of the actual rust remover itself. But yesterday I was using just plain water. This is glass cleaner, a very mild glass cleaner. See if I can find that paper towel I brought out here for this. I've got a steam cleaner that I'll actually use when I get after these things in mass. Yeah, somebody said, well, why don't you just replace all the screws? Well, these are sheet metal screws. To me, they're kind of a hashing function amongst metal fasteners. You just go in one time and hope it stays forever. It's good. I mean, I don't know. I think I got video of this when I started yesterday. There was a rust stain bleeding down off of it, and it was definitely a rusty screw with a lot of rust stain. If it was an airplane, I'd call it a smoking rivet. This stuff out here is adhesive from the blue masking tape. So all in all, you want to go up against a painted surface and get the rust off, but don't damage the paint, or at least this kind of paint, whatever's on here. You can look this up. This was made by Wells Cargo, and I probably should look up online and see what they recommend for touch-up paint and so forth. But this is going to do the job for me. I'm very pleased with the way this worked out. Okay, I've been out here at least 24 hours now. I painted them all with the jelly goo stuff, and then I had enough to go over most of them a second time. I've scrubbed these down now with Scotch-Brite pad and a little bit of Dawn dishwashing liquid, and Scotch-Brite on the one side, you know, scratching off the jelly goo crap, and then focusing on the screw head, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's just I don't have a good wipe, you know. When I'm done with this video, I'm going to take it over and use my steam cleaner on all of these, but it's just cleaning up really, really good. The screw heads are great. There's no rust. It's converted the rust to a nice dark brown patina that I read up on. It's some chemical conversion. It's paintable. The main thing is I don't have my rusty teardrops streaming down the white, and the white isn't damaged. Okay, now that I got autofocus working again, this stuff's not so bad, but it did harm the paint. It actually produced, I think, one of the better overall paintable surfaces on the metal. If I didn't have other concerns, I would, you know, the white, I would definitely have probably gone with this one. All right, here we are. Here's the winner. It did the job. I didn't think I'd like it when I first opened it up because it's kind of like a mixture between custard and rubber cement. But it clearly was the best one. This one's a good one. If you can't get the jelly goop stuff, I would definitely go with this one. This one was almost as good in removing the goo. It dried out quicker. It didn't cling quite as well to the vertical surface, but it also did not harm the paint at all. So this would be a very, very good alternate to the jelly goo stuff.